Hey everyone, it's Makeda Valletta, and welcome to my page, Makeda Valletta Travels. So I just wanted to do a quick video with you all right now, just about some tips on traveling around Medellin and Cali, Colombia. I'll do another one on Cartagena because I need a refresher on Cartagena. I'll be going back there tomorrow. Um, Cartagena is smaller, much smaller city, a little bit different. Um, but just now, right now, I'm in Medellin, and I in a neighborhood called El Poblado, and I wanted to go to another neighborhood called La Bambona, or also called Buenos Aires. It's about a 15-minute drive, but on public transportation, it said it takes an hour and 10 minutes. Now, a lot of people talk about how good the public transportation is here, the trains and stuff like that. I honestly have not taken them because being from New York, as much as people are intimidated by New York is actually very easy to understand, very well labeled, stuff like that. Here, when I was here in Medellin before, I tried to take the tranvia, which was super confusing to me. It didn't make sense at all. Even when I was getting on it, it didn't make sense. I remember when the train thing stopped, it's called a tranvia. It's not really a train. It's like some Back to the Future thing. And I remember when it stopped, people walked up to the doors, and the people on the platform pressed the button in order to open up the car door. So, like, the car doors don't open automatically like they do on trains in America. It's like the person on the people on the platform. Excuse me. People on the platform had to go up and press the button, and it was just weird. It didn't make sense, and even when something's in English, even in America, I get frustrated. In a lot of cities like DC or the Bay, I get frustrated. So definitely am not in the mood to deal with it here, especially when taxis are so cheap. They really are. So taxis are so cheap, I'm like, I don't want to be bothered. I'll walk or take a taxi. So I took a taxi from where I'm at, No Poblado, to La Bombona. I'll keep talking about this app. There's an app called Cabify. There's also Uber here too, but I haven't used Uber here since last May. When I was in Cartagena last May, I used Uber to go to the airport. Sorry for yawning. I haven't used Uber this time around because my Uber account is messed up. So I'm not really sure how much cheaper Uber is in a taxi. For those of you who've used Uber in Colombia, please let me know below. But I will say there's an app that I use called Cabify, and Cabify is in Cali and it's in Medellin. And Cali also has an app called WayCali. I'll put the names of it below. WayCali is only in Cali, it's not in Medellin. I actually prefer WayCali over Cabify. So when I'm in Cali, I use WayCali. I don't use Cabify. I like WayCali better. But in Medellin, I use Cabify. Now, I noticed that with Cabify, it can take a long time sometimes. Like, you could be waiting sometimes for 10 minutes for the taxi, or for 10 minutes for them to find a taxi. So that's the thing about Cabify that's annoying, but I still prefer it over catching a cab on the street. Because earlier, I was trying to get I got tired of waiting for it to find me a taxi. So I just went outside and got a taxi because it's pretty easy to do. There's taxis everywhere. And I paid 1,200 pesos to go to this other area. Now, 3,000 pesos, 3,000 of their dollars is equal to one of ours. So that was $4, to go a 15-minute ride to the other side of town. $4 is not that bad. It would have cost more than that in a lot of American cities. But on my way back, I did take a Cabify, and it was 4,000 pesos. So that was like $1 and I don't know, like 20 cents, 25 cents, or, 30 cents, to go that whole ride. So why would I be bothered with the train? I don't care how cheap the train and the bus is. Why would I be bothered with it when I could take a taxi for $1 and change? So I prefer to get around via walking and via the taxis on the apps. The taxis in the street always cost more money. In Cali, when you call, like when I use WayCali to call a taxi to the airport, they always ask me to cancel it. They always ask me, can you cancel it and just pay them directly because of the money that they lose. So they asked me that, I do it, and nothing shady has ever happened, because the first time somebody asked me that, I was thinking, what if this man kidnaps me? But it was fine. The thing with Cabify and WayCali is that it operates like Uber, but you have to use cash. So you have to pay them with cash. You do not pay them with a card. And so that's the good thing. The thing to keep in mind with being in Colombia, I use my card as much as possible because I don't like to keep getting cash out the machine, and it's just easier to keep track of what you're spending. But you do need to have some cash on you because there are times that people don't take cards. So you always want to have some cash on you. I've never felt in danger in any taxi or cab I've ever gotten into. The yellow cabs have meters, but then sometimes they still try to jip you. I've had this experience in Cali and in Medellin where the meter might have said 4,500 and they're trying to tell me it's 6,000 because there's a minimum of 6,000. And I'm like, well then why does the meter, if your minimum is 6,000, why don't you start the meter at 6,000? So there's times that I've ignored them on that and just was like, whatever, I kept it moving. But they'll pull out a piece of paper and show you that, which makes no sense. But taxis are pretty easy to get here. So before you come, or even when you get here, you can download the apps WayCali if you're in Cali, and Cabify. And I'm not sure if Cabify is in Cartagena or not. I have to look because I didn't use it. Cartagena does have a lot of taxi colectivos. And my Airbnb host in Medellin told me that there was also taxi colectivos here as well. I haven't taken any of them yet. From the airport in Medellin to the city is like a 40-minute drive. And usually a taxi might cost about $25 or something in US dollars. But you can take like a bus to a taxi colectivo, and it's much cheaper. You could probably, for $9, take a taxi colectivo to another taxi colectivo or a bus to but a lot of times when I land, I don't feel like being bothered with all those steps. I just want to get, in the cab and go. I don't want to have to be bothered with getting off at the right stop and trying to, so I don't want to be bothered with that a lot, but that's an option. And there are a lot of people on YouTube who will give you that information. But for me, I just take taxis at my feet. There are a lot of bike riders here. I would not ride my bike here because I love my life too much and it's scary as hell. But I always felt like people who ride the bikes in New York are brave. If you ride your bikes here in the street with these cars, you're brave. A lot of people use bikes as a mode of transportation, whether it be motorcycles or regular bikes. You see regular bikes on the highway. So bikes are very, very common. You see whole families on bikes, baby and everything. But yeah, I think that, I spent $12,000 going to where I'm going, $4,000 coming back. And I'm like, damn, I could have gone there and come back 3 or 4 times with the amount of money I spent to go once, So definitely with the taxis, it's good to use the apps, WayCali and Cabify. And you can try Uber and see, compare as well. If anybody has any comments, any experience with that here in Colombia, please feel free to write about it on my video below. I've never been to Bogota, but I've heard that taxis in Bogota like to jip you. That's why it's always good to just be able to use an app, because the app tells you right up front how much it's going to be. And when they get to where they're going, they look on their phone and the same price comes up, and that's what it is. I do suggest that you know landmarks and you know your address and things around it, because the neighborhood you're staying in, because sometimes taxis look at addresses and they swear they don't know what it is. I've had the experience in Cali and I've had the experience in Medellin, and it's really freaking annoying. So, a lot of times you have to actually have some idea of where you're going or where you came from. You might have to direct them a bit. It's also annoying because if you show them the address or tell them and they don't know, there's times I put the address in the navigation on my phone to show them, and then they want to take my phone and use my phone navigation. I'm like, no, I need my phone back. Put it in your phone. Why are you using my phone? Like, you're the taxi driver. Like, you're not supposed to have my phone for navigation. I need my phone back. So that happens. Also, if you're taking WayCali or Cabify, they always want you to sit in the passenger seat because I guess they're not, I don't know if it's illegal, but they always want you to sit in the passenger seat. If you're in a regular taxi, you can sit in the back. But in WayCali and Cabify, they always ask you to sit in the passenger seat. So yeah, those are just some things to know about getting around. Yeah, when I was in Cartagena, I also had no problems getting taxis. Well, there was a little bit of issues because once I realized in Cartagena that I could take a taxi colectivo for like $2,000 to where I was going to El Centro, the center of town, which is like a 10-minute drive. Once I realized I could pay $2,000 in a taxi colectivo as opposed to paying like $6,000 by myself, I really was trying to get taxi colectivos. And that is a whole situation because they're not always around. They're not always easy to understand. And I feel like I talked about that in some previous videos about Cartagena. But when I go back the next couple of days and I get a refresher, I will share that with you all, okay? Please like the video, subscribe to the page, and let me know any other questions you would like to see me cover on this page, okay? Have a good day, people. Bye.